What's up, guys? It's NatPC, and today I'm going to be providing you all with a guide on how to play Junkrat well. So, across my time in Overwatch, right, I have multiple hours on Junkrat, not just on this account. On this account, I have like 20, but um, across my other accounts, I have like dozens of hours. So, I have a lot of playtime on them, right? But I think there are some key things that people need to know when playing them that they don't always consider, right? It's not just like blindly like spam, even though sometimes like that's what he can do, right? Junkrat is all about essentially Junkrat is about creating or causing area denial for the enemy team. Now you might be asking, well, what is area denial? So area denial, as the name states, is denying an area of the map that the enemies need to go through, or that the other team needs to go through. So let's say this is a choke, right? Let's say this is a choke, and like this high ground is a flank angle, like right here. Like don't just like spam here when you know their best, like when you know the enemy team's either going like here, or if there's like, or like if you already see them going, or it's like the most likely, or it's the like the angle that they're most likely to come from. My brain couldn't think for a sec, but yeah. So essentially, you want to spam down those angles, right? Because if the enemies push in, they give you ult charge, right? And if they don't push in, then that's area denial. It's denying an area of the map. So then they might be like, okay, the enemy team might be like, okay, we need to go somewhere else because the Junkrat's spamming here, right? So you always need to like look out for like different angles. So like maybe when you're like reloading, you can like look around, right? And then yeah, just additionally, Junkrat is really good on maps that are like choke heavy, right? So an example of that, like it used to be Paris when Paris was like in comp, but since it's not anymore, I'll give an actual example. Temple of Anubis defense. Temple of Anubis defense, Junkrat is insane. Almost every time Temple of Anubis defense, I lock junk. So let me show you guys how to so essentially you just want to be like spamming chokes, right? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Like spam where the enemies are gonna go, right? And if you can, and
Now
if possible,
entering the temple
like
of
pressure
Anubis.
multiple angles at once. I'm gonna show you guys what I mean. So I'm on the junk, right? Coming from spawn, chilling. All right, got the new skin, got the new drip, right? Coming from spawn. And also, trap is something very important. Trap also causes area denial, and it wastes the enemy's time, and that's and that's something valuable. And if the enemy team doesn't see it, it's like it's a stun, like it keeps them in place. So, like say, oh, so and so is trapped right side, right? Like Tracer trapped right side, you can say, right? But yeah. So anyways, when it hits like 2 seconds, so let's say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then you want to start spamming like around like 3 or 2.5 seconds. So in between like 3 and 2. And you want to spam, and then you want to kite back because the enemy team, 99% of the time, they're going to be to this right side. Rarely do teams go left, but if they do, right, then most often teams want to take left side, right? But if there's a junk, they can't do that because the junk will just be spamming down here, right? And additionally, it'll be hard to cross from there to there if there's just a Junkrat spamming. So you can't just like spam here blindly though. If you see that the enemy team's going main past this mini, you want to rotate accordingly. So always be aware of where to spam based on when the enemy team is rotating and where they're positioned. As far as tires go, tire is like, you don't need to go for 4Ks, right? Don't get greedy with tire. That's something that I actually see a lot of people do, which is wrong. It's like if someone gets 2 kills with tire, let's say they get an Ana and a Sigma, right? If they get an Ana and a Sigma with tire, right, and none of the people on your team die, that's a 6v4 for your team. Your team should 100% win that fight. If you, as far as solo tiring goes, you guys might be thinking about that. Solo tiring, it's okay, but it depends on the target that you're tiring, right? Ideally, you want to get like at least like 2 with your tire. But if there's like a blading Genji, you know, a Sigma Influx, especially if it's a nano blading Genji. If it's a nano blading Genji and he doesn't see the tire, like always try to blow up the tire as close as possible to him without getting it destroyed. That's a super high value pick because it provides your team with a pick and negates the value of 2 of the enemy team's ults. Additionally, like you can use tire to, maybe don't use it to destroy a whole hog because a whole hog can destroy tire. Don't really use it for high noon. I believe high noon can lock onto tire. And actually, if there's a diva on your team, I don't know why you wouldn't run diva Junkrat necessarily, but if there is a diva on your team, your diva can matrix your tire in, right? Your diva can matrix and like boost, right? I didn't have a ton of matrix there, but and then you can tire as Junkrat, and the enemy team most of the time, like 99% of the time, won't expect it. And then they can't do anything. They're like, oh shoot, we can't shoot the tire, like we're dead, right? And then that either forces them to like disengage, or they just die, which is a dub for you. So how do you like lastly when you should use your conk mines, like, or your concussion mines? I like to call them conk mines or just mines, but you know. So essentially they're used for 2 main purposes. Or 2 purposes, mobility and for damage. Let me just show you guys here. And for damage. So basically, when should you use both? If you're kiting back and you're close to your team and you don't need to make a rotation quickly, you can often use your mines for damage. If you're shooting into a grab, right, then the enemy team likely is all there, so you can use like a mine there. That's a very good play. But if you need to get to maybe you need to get to a high ground to get back to your team, like let's say you get moved off high ground by a Pharah or like a Lucio, and you need to get back up there to get behind your shield, that's perfectly fine to use your concussive or to use your conk mine, right? Just like throw it up, and then yeah. As far as the trajectory goes, like try to like this is like you'll go straight up with this, but try to like go like a little further in the direction that you want to go to get both height and distance. But if you purely just want to get distance, like you can just like it's more lenient for when you exploit it, which is with your right click. So yeah, guys, I mean Junkrat, he is a relatively easy character. He's not very mechanically demanding, and but he certainly can get a lot of value, especially against double shield on maps such as Anubis, Hanamura.
Only gets
Again, I should say this though. Junkrat is quite unorthodox, but like he does have his situations. Like he's a niche pick oftentimes, but like King's Row too is really good for Junk. Defense, yes, for sure. Offense, sometimes depending on what the enemy is running, and yeah, just know your place on when to play Junkrat. Don't force him into situations where the enemy team is doing really well. If you can't counter a dive as Junkrat, don't go Junkrat. If the enemy team is running double sniper and both of the snipers are killing 3 each fight, don't go Junkrat. If the enemy team has a Pharah and you don't have a hit scan that's countering her every fight, don't go Junkrat, right? So know when to play him, but he can certainly be a very good character, and like get a ton of raw damage off and create area denial easily. So keep that in mind when playing him. Alright guys, it was super fun making this video, and I really hope you guys have a great day. Alright, take care you all. Feel free to follow the socials, like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and yeah, take care everyone. I love you all. Peace out.